What's going on, people? So, I just did an unboxing. See, I got the box still right here, yeah, on these last shoes. But now, we're doing an unbagging, which is very similar, but it usually comes with a slight bit of disappointment because when you ship shoes in a box, they're fine. When you ship shoes in a bag, you never know what's going to happen along the way. And if you're like me, you store your shoes in the boxes, right? I got a stack of boxes like right there. I'm looking at it right now, right? So when the overall structure of the box is compromised or whatever, then that just could be a bad thing, right? Could make for a bad day at some points. So we'll see if this is okay or not. And again, what am I going to be able to do about it? Well, second verse, same as the first. Nothing, because this pair also sold out. They weren't on sale though. There was a discount code to use, but it was one of those things. You click on the thing, they're like, we have 2 pair left, or 1 pair left. I forget what it was. I think it was the 1. I think this had 2. Bought it, went back to the site, refreshed, gone. I said, well, okay, let's see how this plays out. There's that side of the box, right? Standard white style that I remember from my very first Saucony release. Was anybody out there that's watching this right now? Were you around when that happened? You remember what that was? I remember it pretty well, right? So anyways, let's go ahead and jump on into this. What is this thing called? The Saucony Progrid Triumph 4? Yeah, Progrid Triumph 4. Pink and silver. Alright, seems easy enough to remember. But I forgot the name of this one, and it was just black and glow. And these glow in the dark. How do you forget the glow part, right? I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But I'm old, so it's okay to be forgetful, right? Anybody out there old also? Anyways, let's go ahead and knock this thing out. Do some sort of review of some sort on this right here. The Saucony Progrid Triumph 4 in pink and silver. I think that's right. Once again, yep, pink and silver. Did it. Pat me on the back later or something if you see me out in public. Don't touch me if you ever see me in public. I do not like being touched. Alright, let's go ahead and knock out a review of some sort on this thing, huh? We're going to start this with the bottom. And there it is, people. What are you looking at down there? I don't know. I didn't look at it myself yet. Oh, that is actually like kind of cool. There's a lot of colors going on down here. Got a cool design without doing a whole lot, right? Not over the top. So yeah, I'm a fan of this. This is pretty all right. And then down there in the middle, if you look, it says Progrid on this little gray area. So all in all, things are looking pretty okay, at least to me, right? Now we're going to move on. We're going to look at this midsole, see what's going on up here. And, well, not so far off of those, what I have, like some kind of Progrid Omni 9, something like that. Kind of reminds me of that, or like those gel NYCs, typical like old 90s style looking shoes, right? And then I'll just show you now the inside of the shoe, right? Interior side of the midsole there. Pretty similar, right? You can see it for yourself. I don't need to describe it to you, right? And so now I'm going to give you a couple other pictures in here real quick, which in this instance might actually be helpful. Because when you look at these, there's like some stuff going on. Like I said about the last one, how those didn't really make me care about what the other colorways look like. This one, I could see how some of those other colors could be pretty alright. But I don't know. I probably won't find out because I don't see a point to looking at something that I know that I won't buy. I mean, I've got a lot of shoes. Got to kind of put the brakes on once in a while. So I think it's going to be a one and done on this model, even though so far so good. Anyways, let's get you some pictures and whatnot. Just, talk about these a little bit. Toe box area down in the front. Got a whole lot of this pink mesh. Maybe you saw that from the previous 2 pictures and just me holding it or whatever. Whole lot of that happening all throughout the shoe. And then otherwise on the sides you got some of this it's kind of like that fake leather stuff, and it's got, a bit of a nice little shimmer to it. It's got this silver thing going on. So it's cool, right? As the box said, pink and silver. No false advertisement here. Saucony logo in the midsection with some more of that pink stuff going on there on the side, right? And at first it looked kind of like a plasticky sort of thing, like just to the eye, but no, it's just standard mesh material, so pretty cool. And then moving on to the back end, I just saw something that had a very similar vibe to it as far as like on the back end, what that was. I don't know. I can't think of what. I might have been those Vomero 5s maybe. Either way, something. So you got that going on. And then on the very back, a little bit of a design there. Could be some 3M type stuff. I'll have to figure that out at some other point. I've never seen one of these. I don't know how these Saucony Progrid Triumph 4s work. I gotta say that a few times so that it stays in my head so I remember what I'm talking about. Ride 17 is easy, right? Anyway, so that's going to be that. Let's jump around to the front. Got these right here. Laces, standard plain. Anything on the tips? Nope, just plain black all the way through, right? Kind of like myself, actually. So there's going to be that for you. Now, moving on behind that tongue, what do you see there? You guessed it, more pink mesh, because that's a thing that makes up a lot of this shoe. And then on the top of the tongue, you got some more of the black mesh right there, switching it up just a little bit. And then as you get to the very top, there is a little bit of labeling. Got the Saucony at the tip top, and then just under that, you got Triumph 4, right? And on the sides of the top there, you may have noticed it, a little bit of the pink, right? So there you go. And one thing I'll give you a little shot of on the inside in case you didn't catch it. This does have arch lock over here, so maybe that's kind of what this thing was going for, but on these it just didn't feel quite right. This might feel better, hopefully. They at least look better, so they already got that going for them. Let's see what's going on with the rest of these looks and go on to the inside. That is just Progrid Triumph 4 down there, right? It's black and it almost looks kind of like a faded silver, like as if you had worn these a lot of times. It's kind of like rubbing away or something. That's kind of the look that it gives me. So that's basically like everything as far as the looks of these goes, right? But one thing that I'm noticing now is like these are super open on the sides. Like you can like see straight through here, you know? It's usually where I would break out the old flashlight test. Yeah, that's crazy. Are you seeing that? You're probably not seeing that. I'll have to get you some kind of picture that doesn't look awful. You know, when you're sitting so far from the camera and all, it just, nothing comes out great. That's why there's always a lot of pictures. But yeah, this reminds me of kind of like the Super Blast 2s in a way. It's also pink, right? So there's that. But yeah, these are, I am really liking the way these are as far as presentation goes. But let's go ahead and talk a little deeper on that. I'll give you my personal thoughts and hit you with a couple other pictures, right? Seems fair. Personally, right? I just said it seconds ago. I like these a whole lot. You know, like the visual is just pretty alright. I get that this pink color may not be for everybody. That's cool, sure, whatever. They had a handful of other ones that were good. There was a neon green sort of thing going on, like a Volt, you know? That one was looking really nice too. But when I saw this one, I was already drawn to it, and then it was like only like one or two left for like to order, you know? I'm like, well, that's the decision. So here we are, right? 100 and some number of dollars later. I don't remember what these cost, but again, there was a coupon code to bring it down like 15% or something like that. So now I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, yeah, like of these like 90s style walking around shoes, you could run in it, I guess, but I wouldn't. This one's up there for me. I mean, I only have like 3 or 4 of these types of things or whatever, but I don't know. I think I'm really just liking this one. How am I going to feel about it when I put it on? Is it still going to hold up to that standard or whatever? That's a question for future, Tristan, and we'll find that out in like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, something like that. But as for right now, I'm looking at these things and I'm thinking, yeah, if this was like a couple years ago when I didn't have as many shoes or whatever, or several years ago actually at this point, yeah, more of these could be a thing that would happen. But now, probably not, which is unfortunate because I wouldn't mind having some more, I don't think. But whatever, we're going to move on. I've said all my piece about how these things look and whatnot, right? They're also like fairly light, so yeah, about as light as they look, you know, not like these, but decent. Just to put that out there in case anybody's curious. So now I'm going to put these things on, go walk around in them, do this whole thing where I figure out how they look how they feel, and come back and go, oh man, they're true to size. Wow, isn't that great? Yeah, look at me walking in my new shoes, or whatever makes sense to be said. So yeah, I'm going to do that. You guys sit tight and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I went and got these all tried on, walked around doing all that stuff. Like, dude, like, these right here, these are pretty alright. But anyways, let's do the thing, right? Sizing wise, right? I bought these in a 9.5, right? It's what I wear, so that's why I buy those, right? True to size things tend to work out for me. These, no different. They do feel basically like a lot of other things that look like this, right? So if you're looking at some of those, like a 2002R maybe or something like that, the gel NYCs, you know, other similar things, Kayano 14s, yeah, they all fit the same to me, right? So there is that piece of it. Get that out of the way. Now, as far as like the upper and how that feels really good. Again, this whole lightweight breathability thing that they have going all throughout here, I feel like this would, I mean, it's not like summertime anymore, but if it was, these things right here would be something special to have for it. And then as far as this like arch lock thing on the side, I'm not sure what that's really doing, but maybe if you like tighten these up a little bit more, maybe it helps like give you some security in the arch side of your foot, right? Like in that region. I'm not really sure. It wasn't a hindrance in it or anything like those Ride 17s. So I've got no complaints about it. I just wasn't quite sure if I was supposed to be feeling anything on that side or anything like that. But anyway, so you got that. And then as far as just walking around in these, the midsole here, this feels really good. Again, I don't want to sit here and like make it sound like I'm trying to oversell it or anything. Like, oh, you need to try this out right now. No, I wouldn't say that. But if you're just looking for, say, like a casual shoe that you can just wear just walking around, if you're going to be out like at an amusement park or a comic convention or something for like all day, yeah, this in that case seems great, right? Or even if you're just wearing them to work. I mean, I've seen a lot of colors of these when I looked briefly, So it seems like something that could fit anywhere, even if you wanted something that doesn't stand out and pop out like this. Yeah, so all in all, putting a nice little bow on this as a total package, this here Progrid Triumph 4, right? Saying that once again. Yeah, I think that this is going to work out as far as wearing goes for mostly anybody, because it's just a good experience, So there's that. There we go. I've done all my little sneaker review things for today. Going to move on to talk about some rose belts in a second. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, wherever you are. Like I said, got to talk about some, Killer Clowns from Outer Space shirts, right? So if that's the thing you're into, watch that video when it comes out. Probably never, because I keep delaying those things so much. Later, people.